We're starting my festive reading vlog here today, and I'm reading Mistletoe Mischief by Cody Hall. I started this today, and I'm 25% of the way through. Thoughts so far. I read the first book in this series yesterday. I had the same problem with that book that I do with this book. The main male character is actually insufferable. This one's a little better, but sometimes they say things and I'm like, there is no way. It was like character building, but within dialogue and thought and stuff. He was like thinking about himself and like how unsuccessful his love life is, and you know, I have a terrible love life, whatever. I feel like I can't keep a woman because she always finds someone better than me. But he's like, I don't know why, because I have such a great style and I'm really hot and buff and sexy, essentially. Like, that wasn't a direct quote, but that was essentially the vibe of what he was saying, and I was like, okay, what? Him thinking that about himself just made me not like him, because who, like, I guess, yeah, but who in the right mind is like, I have really good style and I'm hot, buff, and sexy on a regular basis? I mean, maybe men do that. Maybe that's why men suck so bad. What the fuck are you talking about? This one is a little bit more Christmassy than the other one that I read. I'm really liking the relationship between Ryler and Aaliyah. They're cousins and they're like besties, and I'm really interested in that family dynamic, probably more than the relationship. We're only about 60 pages in and we've just had our first like kind of spicy scene, so it's really heating up quite quickly here. But that's kind of all the thoughts I have as of right now. I'm probably going to try and finish this tomorrow because I have quite a long drive ahead of me tomorrow. I'm headed to DC. So that's all I really have for you tonight, and I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. I've been listening while I've been packing, and tell me why our MMC just, how do I say, checked out another girl's ass in the story and our FMC caught him looking. How am I supposed to root for them anymore? First of all, it makes me not like him. Second of all, it makes me not like her that she just let it happen. Good morning. You're actually sitting on my new bookshelves. They're still in the cardboard. Actually, this has been my dream for like years. I got the Billy bookshelves from IKEA. I'm like thrilled. I'm so thrilled. I have a reading update for you, but I'm just sitting here looking at these shelves like I'm about to build these today, and they're gonna be filled with books by the end of the day. I'm gonna cry. I hope I got enough, and I'm hoping that all my books don't immediately fill 3 shelves because that would be devastating. I have some reading updates for you, which is why I actually started this. I finished yesterday Mistletoe Mischief by Cody Hall. I was unpacking. My room is a mess. I haven't given it a rating quite yet, but I have a feeling I'm probably gonna rate it a 2 or a 2.5. The third book in the series I rated a 1.75, and this I liked a little bit better. All of my previous critiques stand. I hated the male main character with a burning passion, and that makes it really hard to root for the romance. And I also quite literally hated every character in this. But last night I started Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayless, and this could end up being a 5-star read. I'm not gonna lie, because the first maybe 15% that I've read has been so good. We're following a bookstore owner, and she is so passionate about books that she doesn't want to sell them, but she's a bookstore owner, and she's also really passionate about plants and gardening. One of her wealthy friends is getting married, so she rents out a castle. The bride rents out a castle, and our main character goes to this castle for Christmas to watch her friends get married, and she runs into the gardener's son, the new head gardener, and there's a little romance. And like the writing is good. The writing is tea. I don't want to speak too soon, but like maybe. These are the books that we were talking about, but I have to go get ready. Very many things going on today. Hello everyone. I am filming an update for today's vlog that's coming out. Reading vlog, festive reading vlog, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, since we are on a timer of Bookmas, I wasn't able to finish Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss, but I am going to finish it soon, and I might include it in my next festive reading vlog, like start it right after this so you can get my full thoughts and opinions before I have to do my wrap up for the month, because I am still really loving this book. Like, this could round up to be or end up being my favorite Christmas book that I have ever read. There's just something about the writing. I think if you've ever read Matt Haig and The Midnight Library, it's a lot like that. There's continual themes of, I guess, coming of age, classism, like growing apart and growing up together and what that looks like after a tragedy. And there also is trigger warning for a few different things in here. So if you maybe want to look up the trigger warnings, I would encourage it. Like I said, it feels very much like The Midnight Library, Matt Haig's writing style to me. And I can't even tell you specifically why. It feels very existentialist in a certain way, or kind of bigger than itself. Like, it's exploring deeper themes, which I tend to like in a romance book. Like, sometimes I like a surface level, okay, you know, the theme is love, or like exploring love. This, I feel like we're also exploring growth and classism and friendships and friendship groups and how they grow and change as you get older. So I really just generally enjoyed reading about this, and I am about 50. I know I'm 50% of the way through this book. I don't know what page. I might put it in the next festive reading vlog if you're interested, but unfortunately I wasn't able to completely finish this before this video had to go up today. But as of my 50% of the way through thoughts, if you're going to pick up any Christmas book this year, I would make it Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. And it is so very British. Like, everything about this book is so very British, and it's set in London, so this like would make sense. Like, she lives in London, she's going to a little castle kind of in the countryside for Christmas, but it is so very British, and I can't even explain to you why, but just everything they do, everything they say, the way they go about their lives, like, it is so very British. And if you like that, you're going to like this, because every time I like giggle, they do something and I'm like, that's so quintessentially British. I mean, in my American brain, but I didn't want to force myself to read through it if I didn't have time or wasn't fully immersed. So, okay, you saw me reading this in the video like recently, and this is A Heart for Christmas by Sophie Jomain, and this is my advent calendar book. So every day you're supposed to cut these little pages apart and then read the chapter that's inside. And because I was moving out of my apartment and into my parents' house, I ended up accidentally leaving this here starting the beginning of December. So I am behind quite a few days. And so my goal yesterday was to try and catch up, or at least work towards catching up so I can read one every day. And I got through day 5. So now I'm on day 6. Today is the 11th. So I have 6 more chapters to read before I'm caught up. And so I might try and do that later tonight while I'm falling asleep, because I would love to bring this with me to New York. I would love to wake up every morning, get a coffee, and just read my chapter. They're really not long. It's just because I fell behind that I am like 160 pages, supposed to be 160 pages into this book, and currently I'm 70 or 80 pages into this book. Thoughts on like the content though. This is about a girl who recently had a heart transplant, which now I am recognizing the significance of the title after I'm explaining this to you. But she recently had a heart transplant like the year before, and this year she's going back to the Alps to spend Christmas with her dad like she normally would have if she hadn't had to get the heart transplant. And so she goes back to spend Christmas with her dad. However, she's different because she's very cautious with herself, with her physical activity, with the things she eats. So her dad feels like she's really different because of this heart transplant, and her mom is extra cautious, and essentially our FMC just feels kind of caged in by both of her parents. I imagine this is going to be a story about her finding herself and refinding who she is after this heart transplant. She is 19 in this book, and I feel like this is YA, but I feel like the thought processes and the themes are pretty juvenile for a character that is 19 years old. Like, it's clearly trying to have the relatability aspect with the teenagers of like slang and current trends and maybe social media. And so we mentioned Instagram, we mentioned TikTok. One character, actually our MMC, said lol, but like actually like it's spelled out LOL. LOL. Like he went, yeah, lol, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, some people say that, but I wouldn't say that makes the book relatable. It just feels like kind of your mom trying to use slang in a way. And it also kind of feels like your mom's idea of a teenager, like how a teenager rebels, how a teenager thinks about themselves and about their parents. It feels like an adult's went and wrote this, like didn't really not do their research, but really get into the character of a teenager, because our FMC will complain sometimes about her dad and be like, I wish he would just know that I've changed. And it's like, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's not a ton of nuance. Our main character's thought processes, and as like a 19-year-old who is in college, like for law school, like granted, she's supposed to be really smart. She's doing law and that's what her degree's in. She's doing like an online school. So she's supposed to be very smart, but her thought processes around other characters and other people in the book aren't very detailed or in depth. It really just feels like your mom trying to write a teenager, but it doesn't feel like a really deep character. It feels like, oh, this is kind of what I know teenagers to be, so I wrote it out a little bit. It feels very flat. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. I would say overall, I'm enjoying it more because of the fun aspect of it being an advent calendar rather than the individual story it's telling, but I'm not opposed to the story it's telling. I just think it's a little bit young for my taste and my liking, and I think even for younger readers, this could be fleshed out a little bit more, depth in thematic elements, depth in character development, just everywhere, all around, honestly. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching Bookmas Day 11. Tune in again for tomorrow, Bookmas Day 12, and then 13 through 24. So, long ride ahead of us. If you like my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would be forever grateful. Check out my Etsy in the description box down below. I sell Kindle inserts if you're looking for a gift for yourself or another reader. I love you all so, so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.